You're listening to the Content Sales Podcast, the show all about how to create content to attract, convert, and keep your ideal clients. Welcome to episode 257. I'm Susie Daphnis, and here with me is my co-host, Michelle Falzan. Hey, Michelle, how are you?
Hey, Susie, I am great. It's early morning as we record this because we have a wonderful guest and she's joining us from the US.
Yes, we are juggling the time zones for sure to bring a wonderful guest to today's show. And it's the amazing Nicole Burke of Gardenary. And we're going to be talking about how she's leveraged Instagram to grow a massively successful business, one that has doubled in size over the last couple of years. And she's done that by creating a really vibrant community and knowing how to turn her followers on Instagram into actual buyers.
Yes, and this is what I love about Nicole so much. I'm so excited about this conversation. And our marketing success masterminders got the benefit of an in-depth tutorial with Nicole last year, and it was so good. And we saw so many positive results that we wanted to tap into more of her wisdom for more of the people in our world. And that's why we're here today.
Yeah, so one of our masterminders, Fiona Keary of Style Liberation, she has an Instagram following. She had a couple of thousand people. She's managed to grow that to 11,000 followers, and she did that in under 6 months. But she's also seen sales from the strategy that Nicole shared with our masterminders, which she's going to be sharing with you today. So we've seen this working. And so Fiona's success was not just the 11,000 followers, but the number of leads she's generating every single day without paying for advertising. So she's totally gotten rid of her paid advertising strategy in her business, and she's doing it all organically. And so I'm very excited to be getting Nicole's message out to you as you're listening here today.
Yes, me too. This strategy is so powerful. And just before we get Nicole on the line, we just wanted to share a little bit about her. Her credentials and the results she's getting are quite extraordinary. So Nicole Johnsy Burke is the founder of Gardenary Inc., which is a digital education and multimedia brand. And it teaches thousands of students to garden through books, online courses, and top of the line, absolutely gorgeous garden supplies. She also offers a certification program for garden consultants. She's got an online community of over 2 million people. She's got more than 6,000 students in her education and certification program, and nearly, I think it's actually a couple of thousand garden consultants worldwide. And Nicole's vision, her mission is so strong and so powerful. She has this vision for a kitchen garden revival, and it is truly gaining momentum and becoming a global movement. She's an absolute legend on Instagram, where she has a whopping 1.2 million followers. Can you imagine that? 1.2 million followers. I love watching her reels and what she posts there, and I suggest you do go and follow her Instagram account. We'll put it into the show notes for today. It's Gardenary Co. That's GardenaryCo. To see just what she's doing and how she's bringing to life what she's going to share with us today. Nicole is also, just in her spare time, the author of 3 books, Kitchen Garden Revival, which she released in 2020, Leaves, Roots and Fruit from 2023, and her new one from 2025, The 5-Minute Gardener.
So good. Shall we get her on the line?
Yes. Hey, Nicole, and welcome to the Content Sells podcast.
Thank you so much for having me, Michelle. It's such a treat to be here.
We absolutely love that you're here on the show. And I know both Susie and I have learned so much from you already, and our masterminders have learned so much from you. So we're keen to dive on in. And I'll start with the first question. Just for everybody that's listening, can you just tell us a bit about your business, what you do, and who you serve?
Yes. So I first started my business. It was a service-based business in 2015, helping people set up their gardens in their backyard. I shared about that on this online platform. I don't know if you've heard of it, called Instagram. So
Vaguely.
I'm a mom of 4, so I would literally be in these gardens and take a photo and then run to go pick up my preschooler at noon. And so Instagram was really like instantaneously for me. It was just my instant marketing, and I ended up with a following around the country. And so I actually started a second business in 2017 called Gardenary, and that's what my main focus is now. So Gardenary's mission is to make gardening ordinary. We have online courses, we have an online shop, and we really bring someone from a plant killer to someone who has their favorite spot in the world right outside their back door, where they can go every day and pick a little bit of fresh food, come inside, make an omelet, make a salad, make a smoothie, and just reconnect with nature and reconnect with themselves. And we believe reconnect with something that's just really made to be a human right. The practice of growing a little bit of our own food is something that we lost. I know here in the States, we lost it about almost a century ago. And I love technology. I love getting to chat with you guys in Australia. I love using my smartphone, but that is one thing we shouldn't have lost, is just the ability to know where our food comes from and to grow. We don't have to be farmers or homesteaders, but just grow a little bit. So that's Gardenery's mission. And I went from doing it in my own backyard to now we have almost 10,000 students that have grown with our methods, and we have almost 2,000 Gardenery coaches who teach our methods to their clients and supporters in their own towns and cities.
Congratulations, firstly. That's a movement that is, fantastic. And as Michelle mentioned, our masterminders have had the opportunity to learn a little bit about your strategy, because here's the thing, you've had huge success on Instagram. So while you do is online, offline, in the dirt, in the garden, this online platform has been a vehicle for you to create these amazing results. Could you give our listeners a sense of the kinds of results you're getting and what your big picture strategy is as it relates to using Instagram?
Yeah, so we live in an incredible time, where we all have this phone, we have this machine that we can use not just to learn things on the internet, but to make things, right? They've got cameras and editors and all these things in this little bitty machine. And not only can we capture video and photos, we can edit it in our phone, but not only that, we can share it to the entire world in an instant. And I just cannot believe how many people are not using this, because it's not just available to all of us, it's absolutely free. And so we believe that that the primary way we are part of a movement. We are wanting to see everybody gardening. We would love some of them to be our customers, but we have such a big mission that we know we won't even, get a penny from 95% of the people that we touch. And I will say that has to be part of this whole thing. You will not want to show up on Instagram every day if you don't have a mission bigger than your business. And so I would say that's the first thing, is just this truly believing, all of us listening, everybody listening, having something you believe so deeply in, that's such a big deal to you, such a big purpose, that that you want to get the message out to millions, and realizing that you actually have that potential every single time you open your phone. So our method is to reach as many people as possible every single day with a wide variety of content. So things that are entertaining, that would make people laugh and chuckle, or be maybe a little angered, or be maybe a little alarmed, but something that sparks emotion. So that's our widest ranging content that we aim to do, is to just entertain people around our subject of gardening and food. And then we aim to inform people. So we want to start to bring them in a little closer and teach them, all right, so it is kind of, annoying that all of our salad is grown in just one place in America. So let's all start growing a little bit of our own. Here's how to do it. So we share these little tidbits, little step-by-steps, little mini wins that we can give our audience for free. Then we show off. So we show what we do, what our clients do, what our students do. We show before and afters of people who have learned from us and who have put those things into practice to help our audience see, oh, I can do this too. If they can do it, I can do it. And then finally, we use Instagram as a way to invite people off the platform to take the next step and go deeper into learning to become a gardener. And we do that through free resources. So each and every time that we post, whether it's entertaining or informing or showcasing things, we always say, hey, if you want to take this further, if you want to go to the next step, we have this free resource that'll help you do just that. And it's in that opportunity, you know, our numbers really are, we literally, I just saw last month, we reached about 21 million people on Instagram. So we entertained them, we educated them, and then we invite them, you know, to take our free resources. And just in the last month, we've given away many courses, we've had webinars, we've had a boot camp, we've given away guides and downloads. And so all these people, probably tens of thousands of people, got those free resources out of the 20 million. And then from that, we use that to build trust, to build a relationship with those people. And then we give them the opportunity to buy our programs. So it's this wonderful, very natural way to catch people where they are. They're all scrolling every day, all day long. And so you catch these people who are, you know, they're looking for inspiration. They're looking for something new and exciting. You catch them right where they are. And then you bring them on a journey to get to know you more, to get to understand what it is that you teach and do. And then eventually for some of them to actually become paying clients and students.
Thank you for taking us through the different ways that you are reaching out. One thing I do want to ask, though, is my understanding is that you decided early on that you were going to double down on this one platform on Instagram. Can you tell us why and why that's important in your point of view to double down on something?
Yes. So I don't know if you've talked about this with your people, but the 1-1-1-1-1 method, where it's one offer to one avatar on one platform. So it's just very much singling in and figuring out how to reach one type of person on one platform with one offer. And this is really the model to get to $1 million in sales. So at this point, when I made this choice back in 2023 was when I doubled down just on Instagram. We had actually already passed $1 million in revenue, but we were stuck. So we had been there for 2 years, and I'd been using paid advertising and trying a lot of different things. And I decided to just double down and put all my investment, all my time on Instagram. Now we've still been building an audience elsewhere, and now we had an incredible year last year. So now we're very much like multi-platform. But for that 1 year, we put all of our eggs in one basket into just an offer on, through Instagram as our platform. So Instagram is unique. Facebook would be similar, but Instagram for us really holds our ideal client, our ideal avatar to that 1-1-1-1-1 method. And it also has an incredible conversion tactic allowed for us, which is through DM messaging. So you've probably seen this. If anybody listening has been scrolling, you've probably even been part of funnels like this, where someone will share a video and then they'll say, if you want this, comment, and they'll tell you a word to comment, and then that triggers a DM conversation. So YouTube is great, TikTok is great, Pinterest is awesome, but this ability to get into direct conversation with our followers in such an intimate way in the DMs was really what proved Instagram to just be an invaluable platform for us. So it's the place where we can, at first, what we would do is we would say, oh, if you want this resource, and we'd send the link in the DMs. And for everyone listening, that's the way you should start, is very, very simply just literally DMing a link to your website. But then we realized we could actually have an entire conversation with them inside the DMs, never asking them to leave the platform. And that did even better. So, Susie, you might see one of my posts, hopefully you did today, and you said, oh, Nicole, I want to learn how to grow salad. So you commented salad. And I would, in the DM, say, Susie, I heard you wanted my salad course. And you'd say, yes. You click on a little button. Yes, I do. And then right there, I'll say, what's your email address? And then you'd give it to me, of course, because you definitely want this, right, Susie? And then
I want to grow salad.
And so then I would say, oh, okay, it's on its way to you. While you're here, would you like to join my spring planting workshop? And then you'd have a chance to even sign up for that. So inside DMs now, we might in one DM conversation give you a free resource, sign you up for our next workshop, and get you on our DM messaging list and get your phone number and email. So it's just this incredibly powerful tool where someone, it feels very native and natural on the platform, and they're used to communicating through DMs. So we doubled down on that in 2023, and the results were crazy good. We went from 270,000 followers at the start of the year to 640,000 at the end of the year. So almost tripling. And then we doubled. So I finally got unstuck from that $1 million mark, and we hit just over 2 million in revenue. And then in 2024, we did it again. So in 2024, we pushed and we said, all right, let's just take this to the next level. So from 2024, we went from 640 to 1.2 million in the year. And we doubled our revenue again. So we went from around 2-ish million to around over 4 million using the same strategy.
So inspiring. It's so inspiring. And, as people are listening right now, what I want you to hear, what Nicole's saying is, okay, so she went from, 270,000 to 640,000. But if you're at 2,000 followers right now, or 2,700 followers, imagine going to 6,400 followers. And then imagine having a system where you can have those people not just follow you on Instagram and like all your stuff, but actually come off Instagram and actually into your world, where you can put them through that journey that Nicole was just outlining for us, where they actually become buyers. And this is why I know Susie loves this, and why I love what you're doing so much, Nicole, is that you've kind of cracked the code on getting people off Instagram. We see lots of influencers with millions of followers, and they're really making their money off sharing products on their Instagram account to their followers for brands and things like that. But you're actually getting them into your world, into your email list, into your funnels, onto your webinars. And this is why we adore what you're doing so much. And I want to peel the layer back a little bit more. You were sort of saying at first you started off just kind of like saying post salad, and they put salad in the comments, and then you were manually just keeping an eye on your Instagram, and then going, oh, Susie's posted salad, let me DM her, and then engaging in a direct message. And then you really moved to automating that. I imagine you didn't kind of go from 270 to 640,000 doing hand-to-hand kind of DMing. Can you tell us a little bit about the tool you're using, or the approach, or the systems, or how that kind of evolved?
Yes. So back in the fall of 2022, I was seeing this trend of people using the comments. And so I thought, I'm just going to try this and see what happens. So I just said, I think I did a garlic post. I said, if you want me to teach you how to plant garlic, comment garlic. And then I just watched there was like so many more people commented than normally would comment on a post. So I was just having the time of my life, like in the DMs, like, hey, here's my guide. And then I told my team and started doing research. And there are a number of automating services out there. Our favorite is ManyChat. I actually spoke at their summit last year. I think I'm in the 0.1% of their users. Like I send more ManyChats than 99.99% of people.
Nailed it.
But yes, but so we are definitely a power user of ManyChat. They have a it takes a little bit of time to learn it. We teach it actually inside my social sales system, but it takes a little bit of time to pick up on it, but it is pretty user friendly. So I started it, and then now I have a team member that runs it. I just started playing around for my social sales system students. We have a lot who are just like afraid of tech, they're like allergic to tech. And so even the ManyChat things were a little overwhelming to them. And so I started playing around with a couple of other methods to test some things for them. And have you heard of Stan Store, STAN Store?
No, writing that down.
Stan is, I'm assuming it's in Australia as well, but Stan is just it's an ability for you to have like a storefront. It's like your own storefront, a digital storefront. And they have a free trial. And then once you're set up, you can put digital downloads in there. You can put courses in there, and it's all a direct link. And they just started a message automation as well. So on Stand Store, I just did this for my students to give them the step-by-step so they can stop making excuses. You know what I'm saying? So I was like, all right, watch me. I did a class with them just last week. I was like, I just made an ebook on Canva. I'm uploading it to Stand Store, and on Stand Store, you can make your own automation. It's not as complicated. You can't make it as complex as ManyChat, but it's an automator. So I made like a little recipe book to show my students. And then I just said, comment recipe inside Stan, and it automates it for you. So this is going to be like, probably in a year when people listen to this, are going to be like, oh, every single person does this. Like it's kind of like using, I don't know, any technology that like texting used to be so weird to me, and now I'm like, what, you're going to call me? Like you could text me, And so I'm sure like we will very quickly get to where pretty much every Instagram, and probably, I even saw on ManyChat that ManyChat may be going to TikTok soon. So we're just at the start where this will actually be, I'm pretty sure we'll see this roll out on all the platforms.
So exciting. And, like she runs off to Stand Store right now, me being she, and is going to dive into that. That sounds awesome.
I know. I saw you typing. I'm like, oh, Michelle, go, Michelle, go.
I'm just going to get my thing off Canva, pop it straight on Stand Store. Thank you for that.
Exactly. It is so easy. And I have seen, because I search for these algorithms, I am seeing women having so much success with this in all these areas. Like I just started following a lady who literally she has a Canva guide, and all she has is a Stand Store, and she posted that she made $1 million. And she sells a Canva guide right off of her Instagram. So she makes very practical Instagram posts like Canva hack part 65, So it grabs the right person, because that person's already trying to use Canva. Right. And then at the end of every one of these videos, she showcases her work. She gives a little educational content, right? She has a really nice hook. And then every video says, comment Canva and you can get my Canva course. And then it's a Stand Store link, and it just goes straight to her Stand Store. And she shows receipts. I mean, she says she's made $1 million. So, like literally, we have no excuses, ladies. Like people who are just getting started as entrepreneurs are doing this.
Yeah, I love hearing that. And just a real quick little clarification for anybody that's listening that's thinking, what is ManyChat? Like what does this actually look like? Just imagine that instead of having a human being kind of in your DMs, your direct messages inside Instagram, the little messages that you can share with each other personally, instead of Nicole messaging me directly, like her sitting at her desktop typing, she has pre-programmed a series of conversational steps into this tool called ManyChat, and also other tools are available to do that. And so when Susie posts salad in the comments, that's the trigger word for ManyChat to kind of wake up and say, oh, right, hey, here's the message I'm going to send to this person in their DMs. And then when they click OK, here's the other message I'm going to send to them. And it's kind of like you create a little customer journey based on how the person responds, what the next message is. And so I just wanted to clarify that for anybody that's thinking, I'm not quite exactly catching what this is.
Thanks, Michelle.
Another way you could say it is like it's a chat bot. It's a messaging bot. It's a little robot in your phone that sends messages for you, and it's smart. So you set up if then statements, like if they don't reply in 12 hours, send this. If they say yes, send them this. So it's just like we would do a sales training, right, for our teams. Like if they don't call you back, you call them back. If they say they're not ready, then you're going to send them this proposal. And it's that exact thing, except instead of training a salesperson to have these conversations, we tell the chatbot what to say.
So good. You mentioned, mention a word in in the comments to get them into your funnel. Can you tell us a little more about the creative hooks or call to action strategies that you have found are working really well on Instagram for you?
Yeah. So the most important part of any piece of content you put anywhere in the world, but especially on social media, is the first 3 seconds. So, and I would say even, now you could even break it into the first 1.5 seconds. So, marketers call this the hook. But you need fast, you have to catch people's attention at the start, at the hook. You cannot wait. You can't slowly get into the point of your video or your post. And so we spend probably 60 to 70% of our attention on any piece of content on the hook. So as we're speaking today, I just posted a carousel post, actually. And carousels, we can talk about this later when we talk about content, but those are doing really well right now. And they're much easier to make than videos, I think. So the post, we're talking about salad right now, of course. And the first carousel is a photo of grocery store salad. And it says, this has to change. And so that's so different than putting text that says, let's grow salad together, right? Or you could replace your groceries. Now that might be a good hook too, but you tell me, when you read this has to change, what kind of what pops up into your head when you even hear that?
Yeah, I'm curious. What has to change?
Yes, curious is the word. Yeah, it's curiosity. So that's your main thing you want to, that's the main emotion you should evoke with any hook, is curiosity. Because the whole point of us making all this stuff, right, is to keep people watching till the end. And I think to even be brave enough to use more compelling hooks, more provocative hooks, you have to really believe in what you're saying. You have to believe, like Michelle has to believe, the thing I'm about to put on the internet is so important. I need all of my people to see my stuff before they see anything else on Instagram today.
Oh, good.
And she has to think that so strongly that she's willing to say something strong. Yes. And over the years, as I've helped people get out of their shell online, I've realized a lot of it is conviction. A lot of it, because it's kind of like bold and bossy, right? To post like, this needs to change, And so you realize a lot of times, honestly, sometimes I even cringe at my own content. I'm like, did I just say that? but I go back and I go, there's a bunch of junk online. Like I'll watch my daughters, on their phone when we're driving somewhere, and I'm like, oh, that is such a waste of your time, but it's more hooky. Like that person did a better job marketing their video than I did. And so it's like, it has to be personal conviction where you go like, I'm competing with millions of other people, and I've got a more important message than they do. So picking that hook is the most critical piece. And that's where we put 60% at least of our attention, is what is going to be in the first 3 seconds. And you can do a visual hook. So you can kind of, jump into the video. You can have something surprising come into the video. You can have a change at the front. You can have a visual hook. You can have a sound hook. You can have a textual hook. There's a lot of different ways to grab someone's attention, but I love, Susie, like right on cue, you said, like, I'm curious. And that is like, we all should be asking my most failed videos are the ones where I don't ask that. I just think, oh, it's so pretty, it's going to do well. Or, oh, this is a really, this is just a good idea. This video deserves attention,
Yeah.
I'm not asking the question, did I make Susie curious? Like when she sees this, is this going to spark curiosity? And if you have that at the first 1.5 to 3 seconds of your video, then so much of the rest of it takes care of itself.
I love this so much. And my gosh, we could just talk about hooks all day long. I did want to ask, because you were very specific about 1.5 to 3 seconds, because there's a lot of, hi, I'm Susie, I'm the head of and then I go into my thing, right? Waste of time. And so for you to determine it's 1.5 to 3, is that based on testing, or tell me more about that before we move on?
Yeah, so in the realm, used to like on YouTube, I think they would say the first 30 seconds or something, but like as TikTok
Yeah.
came onto the platform and introduced this short video level of content, it has literally changed the entire environment. The whole ecosystem changed because of that. And so we're just now in a very short form kind of ecosystem when it comes to entertainment.
Right.
So, yeah, if you'll watch, and I do this, everyone watching should do this when you're at a public event. I love it if like I'm at a baseball game or a soccer game and I'll see someone on their phone, I'll just kind of like, let me just observe. And so you'll watch someone, I do this in the air when I'm in an airplane, I'll watch everybody kind of doing their last minute scroll throughs. And you'll just watch how fast people scroll from one video to the next. And it's really fast. It's like maybe they give it half a second. They're doing good if they give it 3 seconds. And the younger, the faster. Like if you're trying to reach a younger audience, like my kids, I'm like, wait, go back. That was a good video. Why you didn't even let it finish? Like they're just done with the video before it even, completed. So yeah, it definitely is just the pace at which our content, unfortunately, like our attention span is just getting shorter and shorter. So we're competing with other people who have really mastered that. So we have to get in there and master it as well.
What a great challenge. It's like, how precise can you be? How engaging can you be? How quickly can you get there? So as you're listening, it's like, well, yeah, we get tied up on, we have important information. We have lots of things to say. But the game is how quickly can you get someone curious so that they can keep reading or look below or whatever it is. I wanted to ask, now you have a business where you can step into a garden, you can show us salad, etc. What about for the women who sell services, for whom maybe visual props aren't as available? How would you approach it if that was your business?
Yeah, I love this question. I get it a lot, especially from like coaches or consultants. And really, first of all, the introduction of text on video is so helpful for all of us. So, Michelle, Susie, both of you as, professional women, you could just film yourself like literally right now. You could have a phone right behind your screen and just film yourself doing what you're doing. And then the actual, like the art of the video will come with the text. So if I were with you, Susie, in this beautiful background, I would grab my phone and I would just film like a nice little side angle of you, probably that includes the lights and shows some of the background of what you're doing. And then I might make a post that's like, it's crazy how long it took me to figure this out. And that would be the video.
Yeah,
and that would
how
be
to
the
figure
whole
out doing the video.
Yeah, well, you don't know, right? You don't know what I'm going to say, right? And so that would bring you to the caption.
Yeah, that's fantastic.
I see this beautiful woman in this beautiful setting. She's obviously had some success. She's figured some stuff out. So I see this caption, I see the text on top of this video, and I'm like, what'd she figure out? And why did it take her so long? So just we all discount just the normalcy, the things that we do in our normal everyday lives. I have started growing my Hey Nicole Burke account, which I'm doing this to learn how can I grow an account that doesn't have to do with gardening. And so I've been learning how to just film myself doing everyday ordinary things. So I film myself on a dog walk. I film myself at the gym. I film myself when I'm driving. And so a lot of it, if you're a coach, if you're someone who is an educator, then just film yourself doing your normal stuff and use that as the background with text on top. And then the other approach you can use here is to think about your avatar. So think about your main kind of client and ask yourself, what else does she love? What else is she doing? So I would ask you both that, like for your clientele, what are the other things that they love? Business, right? I'm assuming they love growing their own. They're being an entrepreneur, growing their financial freedom. What are other things that you like, trends that you see, things that they also are into?
Yeah, like
You have to answer.
hiking. That's an answer. She's asking
We
us
just
the
came
question.
back. Oh, you're asking us for reals. So Michelle and I just got back from 5 days in New Zealand hiking with 9 women business owners. It's a new initiative. We've partnered with an outdoor adventure company called Women's Fitness Adventures. And so her business and this organization joined forces to create Business Trailblazers. So we took these 9 women to the South Island of New Zealand, and we've just spent an amazing week working on our bodies, having conversations with each other, getting out in the open air, stepping away from our desk. I don't know, those women knew they wanted to do that, but they knew they wanted something. They wanted another way to connect with themselves and their visions and their dreams.
And there's
I
so
love
much
that.
scope,
So, I mean,
right? Like Susie was walking across this rope bridge and the guide was in front of her, kind of like coaching her across the bridge. They did it for everybody, but like getting a little bit of footage of that. Now Susie can speak to this idea of the importance of a guide when you're doing new things and challenging things and people who've been on that road before you, right? So there's so many metaphors in the normal world that we're living in that we can map back, I think, to what we're doing.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So that you can do metaphor, and then you can also just show video. Like, let's say I'm just going to fill in the blank. All right. Let's say these women, and you can kind of just think of the full person, right? These women are going to have a physical side to them. So that would be fitness. That would be health. That would be, nutrition, food, cooking. They have a physical side to them. They have a emotional side to them. So that would be laughing, crying, thinking, just anything with the emotion and the soul, really. They have relationships. So you could think of their marriages, their children, their grandchildren,
their
parents,
menopause, all the things, right?
Yeah. So, and that would be the physical, but you want to think of like well-round your person, right? Like make your person a whole person. She's not just the financial person, right? She's not just the professional person. And then you make content about those other pieces of your customer. And so what happens there is that woman who wants your help in her business, she's also following a bunch of yoga accounts, right? Or maybe in this case, she's following a bunch of like outdoor excursion, accounts. She's also probably trying to take better care of her body and eat good. So she's probably following a couple of chef accounts or recipe accounts. She also probably is trying to be a great mom. So she follows some parenting accounts. So when you make content about those other things, but you put your advice, your particular take on those things on the video, you jump into a new algorithm. You see that?
So good.
So
all of a sudden,
you're not just in the business women, professional women, women making money realm. You're in the women making dinner. You're in the women taking care of their kids. You're in the women working out. And so you get to catch these people who are trying to be their best selves, right? Trying to grow and advance and live the fullest life. And they didn't even know you existed, but by posting Susie lifting some weights, right? And she's like lifting weights, and she could put a little text on top of like, this is so much like business, it's crazy. Or, it's not like, who knew that what bench pressing and business have in common, right? And so when you post that, you get to now be in the bench pressing community and the business. So
that's great.
I think everyone is thinking too flat when it comes to making content. They're thinking, oh, I don't have a garden business. I don't have any content to make. And you want to think less about yourself and more about your customer. And so make content that they're already looking at, but put your spin on it.
Right, because we might be why they came for a little sliver. I want to be more profitable. I want to have a profitable business. But to your point, they're a whole person. They want their emotional well-being. They want their physical well-being. They want their kids to have the attention that they want, and for them to have the time to give themselves some self-care. Like there's so many things. And I think that applies obviously not just to us, and thank you for your generous contribution, but to every single person listening. Like, who is your ideal customer? It's not just what you have in your marketing at the moment as your elevator pitch of how you can, do whatever it is that you do, install a pool or help them with a garden. It's all those other things. So really, really, really excellent, Nicole. Thank you.
Yeah, yeah.
She just exudes hooks. Like every time I'm around Nicole, she just goes, yeah, and you could just do that, and you could just do that. And it's just like she thinks in hooks. And this is kind of the meta, I think, of what you want to be listening for as Nicole's talking to us. So I want to get a tiny bit tactical because you mentioned carousels before. And I want to just talk about like
Yeah.
there's reels, there's carousels, there's just sort of image posts. How do you decide and what's your mix? Do you have a percentage or is that changing? Can you talk a bit about that?
Yeah. So in 2020, Instagram went all in on Reels, and I was so late to the game. They're like, oh, TikTok's taking over. Let's be like TikTok. And they just started prioritizing Reels. And I was so in my pretty photo realm. I was like, excuse me, don't mess up my Instagram, okay? And so I came like kicking and screaming, like, I don't want to make videos. Don't make me do that. So I slowly 2021, 2022 started making videos, but I literally did not enjoy it until I realized why all these little accounts that were not even existing when I've been on Instagram since 2015. Like I'm a dinosaur when it comes to this place. And these little accounts that were nobodies passed me in 2020 and 2021. And I'm like, hold up, right? Like I have been working in this factory for a long time. As I say it, I've been serving the Instagram gods for years, So I'm like, you are not getting this treasure. So I picked up on it and realized finally, I had a couple of reels take off and I realized, oh, this is a different game. So what they're doing is previously all of my posts, only on a wing and a prayer could your post ever go in front of someone who wasn't a follower. And that was just the way the Instagram algorithm worked. TikTok, what they did, which was so different, and they introduced it, now everyone does it. But when TikTok came in, they didn't care if you followed anybody. If your content was good enough, they would show it to anyone on the platform at any given time. And they'll let a video live for much, much longer than Instagram ever thought of. And so you had these people literally going from nobodies to just like getting a TV show because of the TikTok algorithm. And what they did is it was much more hooky because instead of being trapped and only being able to see, the people that you follow, they'll be like, hey, I wonder if Nicole might be interested in like basket weaving today. Let's just throw this video at her and see what she does, So Instagram started doing that. I picked up on it in 2023. And at that time, 2022, 2023, at that time, 21 and 22, if you were doing reels only, you were growing if you had kind of figured it out how to make it, you could grow so fast. 2023, they kept it similar. And then in 2024, there was some pushback. I don't know if you saw any of that, but a lot of people were like, give us our old Instagram back. I think even the Kardashians were asking, like, can we please just have some photos in our timeline? And so they started pushing photos and carousel posts again. And at that time, what I started doing is posting memes. So it was like my own meme where I just do little funny quotes on I make it on Canva, of course. And like the other day, I said something like, what did I say? I'm sad to say, I woke up this morning without a perfect homestead and a cut flower garden and chickens and bees. Please respect my privacy at this time. So I do like that's the emotion part, right? Where you just get people laughing and those are very shareable. So a year or two ago, probably 2 years ago, that post would have died on the line. Like no one would have seen that. And that one has almost 1 million views now. And I just posted it like a week ago. So what Instagram changed is they started to treat carousel posts and standalone photos the same way they were treating reels. So previously a carousel would just sit there only to your followers, but a reel would go out to anyone who, if it was good enough. Now they'll do the same with a carousel post and with a standalone post. The way I use all three together is I use meme posts for shares. So I get about 60 shares every 3 or 4 hours. And when I check through the shares, they're all memes. So you like that kind of content. What it does is it's telling Instagram like, oh, these people like this account. They like to share this account with their friends and their followers. So that kind of wakes, the algorithm up of like, oh, this account is fun. Like it's creating The whole thing they're trying to do is keep people on that app forever, right? Which I don't want people there all the time. I want them to get out there and grow a garden. But so they're looking for those shares. They're looking for accounts that get shared quite often. So I use the memes for that. I use carousel posts to bring people deeper. So carousel posts are a way to generally, I expect carousel posts to only be pushed to my followers, but to reach almost all my followers that are online. So carousel posts, it kind of slows people down. It's longer. It's got lots of text on it. It's very text heavy. And so it's a place to kind of bring people deeper. And often I'll get my best conversions off of carousels. And then reels are meant to reach the masses. So reels I use for reach. And the goal there is to just reach as many people as possible. And then like follow that up with a carousel and then a meme. So the way our cadence works right now is about, generally I try to post a meme or a carousel in the morning. Then we do a reel. And then we might do the opposite of what we did that morning. So a reel or a meme or a carousel in the afternoon, and then we'll do a reel that night. If you're listening to this and your eyes just rolled into the back of your head, you don't have to do it like this. You could just do one of each throughout the week. So here's a sample for Michelle to get you posting. On Saturdays and Sundays for us are our most attentive days. So that's when someone's got longer to scroll, longer to spend time. So that's when I would do carousel posts, because someone has time to go deeper on your content and actually read the full post. Whereas, Betty might see this on a, Wednesday at 8 a.m. She's not got time to read your whole post. She might just see your 5-second video.
Right.
So carousel posts are great for a Saturday or Sunday. We also love doing meme posts on the weekends because people are just feeling lighter and funnier. And so it's a good time to get reach that way. So memes or carousels on the weekends, and then maybe 2 to 3 reels throughout the week, and then mix in another carousel or meme in there. So it could be like carousel post on Sunday, reel on Monday, meme on Tuesday, reel on Wednesday, carousel on Thursday, reel on Friday, meme on Saturday. And that's a really nice cadence of a wide variety of content. And you're going to reach a wide number of different kinds of people. You'll bring your audience deeper with your carousels. You'll get those shareable posts with your memes, and then you'll get to entertain and educate with the reels.
Thank you for the formula. We love a system, a blueprint, a formula, and you've just given us one.
Me too. Me too. I love it.
And I'm sure we go deeper into that in your programs. And you do have a resource for us. So we are going to make that available to you as you're listening in a little bit so that you can learn more from Nicole. Speaking about our ideal customer, and I love the conversation we had about, she's this whole person, or he's this whole person, or whoever your customer is. What I know about our customer is that she's scared of being salesy or pushy on social media. What's your take on that?
Yeah, I love that question and thought. So I would say I'm in a little bit of I'm in the midst of changing my thoughts on sales on social media, but we'll hold that for the next conversation. I'll tell you my theory so far. So I agree. So, on social, they're not there to buy. So if you're on Amazon, if you're on Walmart, or y'all don't have Walmart, what's your big place where people go to
Kmart?
Buy online?
Oh, to buy online. Oh, to buy online.
Yeah. Probably Amazon.
Probably Amazon, yeah.
Yeah. So, when you go to Amazon, you're there to buy. And so, and then when you're on YouTube even, or Google, you're there to search and learn. And when you're on Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, you're there to be entertained. And so we need to give our people what they want, right? They are there to relax, to unwind, to be entertained, to just numb and forget the crazy day they just had. And so that's what we do. That's why we create memes and carousel posts. We're trying to give them exactly what they're there to receive. And so that's why we go through the DM messaging system that we do, because, the idea is you catch them on that app and you say, hey, Susie, did you know Like all your salad is grown in this place and it would taste so much better if you grew your own. I know you're busy. I know you're tired. I know you're just scrolling, but I just wanted you to know that. And by the way, if you comment salad, I'll send you my little course. And when you're not as busy, like on the weekend or something, you can watch this course some other time. And so what it allows people to do, you ever think about that? It's like it's like a bookmark, right? Where you're busy, you're doing your thing. I know I'll be in doing my life. And I have my notes, y'all, in my phone. My notes app is just a jungle because I'm like doing my life. And then I think, oh, I need to research this, or I want to learn how to do this. So I go put a link in my notes. And that's essentially what we're doing is we're saying to people like, I know you're just having a good time. Awesome. Here's a link for when you're ready to learn, when you're ready to buy. And that's how we need to think about it when we're working in social media is we're not saying buy my stuff. That's not what we're saying. We're saying, here's exactly what you want. Here's some entertainment. Here's a good laugh. Here's a little how-to. And when you're ready, here's the link. And so the link is not to buy. The link is to learn more. The link is to go deeper. The link is to start figuring stuff out at a deeper level. So most of my people, your people too, but most of my people, they're busy. They're doing carpooling, they're cooking dinner, they're working, they're living their lives. They see my post while they're walking up to the carpool or while they're, walking their dog in the morning. They get the link. And then hopefully, if the system works, when the system works, they get the link. I get to send them an email. And now when do we check our email? Generally you don't check your email to be entertained. I know I don't, right?
It ain't entertaining.
To be annoyed usually, right? But when you check your email, it's when you sit down, right? You're sitting down, you're not on the go, you're ready to focus. So I send the email, and in that email, it's like, here's more information. Here's how to learn more. Oh, and by the way, if you like this, you're going to love my program. Can I tell you more about it? And so yeah, I would never, I've probably been accused of being salesy, but I'll be in the middle of a webinar, and I'll ask people, I'll say, I'm going to teach you how to sell like I do. And I'll literally say to them, I'm like, have you enjoyed this process so far? I'll be like, just a pulse check. Like, are you having fun right now? And they'll be like, yeah, we're having a great time. I'm like, I'm selling you right now.
I love it.
And it's like, it's just this, we have such a mind block against, and a prejudice against sales and salesy. But I'll even call it out and just kind of call it what it is. I'm like, have you had fun? Like, how did you like seeing those videos? And how did you like watching my course for free? And how are you enjoying this workshop? And they're like, this is awesome. We're having so much fun. I'm like, great, because I'm selling something to you right now. And I'll even say, do you know I'm selling you something? And they're like, yeah, we know. I'm like, exactly. Your customers will be the same way.
Right.
Like no one's dumb, right? We even know the influencers are selling us something, right? We're not stupid. Like everyone needs to pay their bills. Everyone's got, eggs to buy these days. So it's like, we all know that we're making money. No one's just wasting their time out there, right? Everyone's got an agenda. And so I like to just honestly call a spade if I'm in the middle of it. But yeah, I think we have to, I will say to everyone listening, like, love sales, right? Like fall in love with sales. Sales is a service. If you have something good to give to the world, people need to buy it. They don't use free stuff, right? They will not make the most of the stuff you give them for free. And when someone buys something from you, you're going to change their life. So I will say it goes back to that whole conviction thing. Like you do have to love selling. And then, yeah, I will say though, I think this is so far from being salesy on social media and so far from feeling like you're selling, because you really are, you're giving. What is, Gary Vaynerchuk calls it? It's like jab,
right hook.
Yeah. And you're just like, it's like here. There's a concept. I lived in China for a couple of years after college. And Michelle, you and I talked about this word, guanxi. The Chinese have this word for relationship called guanxi, and the word really is balance. So it's if someone's done something for you, given you something, there's this unspoken imbalance that you owe them something.
Right.
And in China, like I would be caught in all these guanxi. They like would use me as like a way to balance guanxi, right? Like here, deal with Nicole. They would send me to people that they didn't like. Take that guy, and we have bad guanxi. No, just kidding. But they would use me to teach English, basically to balance guanxi with people. But I love the concept, and I think we all feel and know what guanxi is, and that happens. We're creating a ton of good guanxi with the whole world when we do this. We're giving so much good stuff, and then we're providing so much guidance along the way that when you finally do ask, it should feel really, really natural and just like a little guanxi exchange.
Thank you so much for that answer, because you take the pressure off. It's like, yeah, we're all business owners. We're all wanting to go from 1 million to 2 million to 4 million or whatever those jumps are for you. But you're not attached. You're committed to giving value. You're being strategic at the same time, but there's no desperation in what you're doing. And you've just sort of come at it from this calm, really centered approach, knowing that you're adding so much value. So thank you for that. And I hope that if you're listening and I don't want to be salesy, I don't want to seem pushy, that you can just take a breath and follow some of the things that we've just said, knowing that you have something really special to give and somebody really needs that. Thank you. Thanks, Nicole.
Yes, absolutely. And the guanxi piece, we can feel like we've got to give, but it's kind of part of the balance to then ask and get something back. That's part of the process, part of keeping all of that in balance. So I love this idea of balance. Nicole, I mean, we could talk to you all day. We would just love to sit and chat for the rest of the day, honestly. And I know it's getting later there.
Fly me over, Michelle. Fly me over.
Come over. We'd love that. That's on my dream board list. And so I'd love to have you here in person, right?
Episode 2, right? That's
the one you teased earlier, right? That's going to be in person.
That's right.
So is there anything, that you feel like, I mean, you have a wealth of knowledge, but is there anything that we didn't cover that you're like, I just want to say this one thing? Like, is there anything you'd like to leave us with?
Yeah, I'd love to leave you with the idea that you cannot figure this out in your head. You cannot figure this out in your head. You have no idea what will go viral. You have no idea what people will love. And you have no idea what is going to work. And even what works today may not work a year from today, 6 months from today. The only way to do this is to put it out there. It's the only way. And I just have so many people that have told me they're about to start. They're about to start. They're getting their stuff ready. They're hiring someone and they're about to start. And I think there's like a quote from Warren Buffett or whatever. It's like the biggest fool is the person who's always getting ready. And you're ready. Everyone listening, you're ready. You have a smartphone and you have an Instagram account. And you will learn. I learned this. I posted basically 1,000 posts in a year. And I became a student of it. And so everyone listening, even if you don't love this marketing tactic, pick a marketing tactic and become a student of it. I had to literally talk to my cousin who's a life coach before I started in 2023 doing this. And I said, I want to post these things, but I'm just kind of scared. Like it feels a little provocative. And what if, and she's like, well, what's the worst? What could happen? What are you afraid of? And I was like, well, people might love it or people might hate it. And she was like, and what's the worst that could come from that? And I realized just in like digging through is that it was my ego. My ego was actually the thing holding me back. And you're going to say it's because your videos aren't good or because you don't have a garden to film or because you don't have time. But all of us have all of us have 5 minutes, and you can actually post a video in 5 minutes. Now, will it be a good video? I don't know. Will it be a video you're proud of? I don't know. Will it be a video that embarrasses you? Probably. But when a life coach hack I've heard is like, people say, I don't have time to write a book. And the life coach comes back and says, well, do you have time to write a bad book? What we realize, what you realize when you push hard enough is it's not that we don't have time. It's not that we don't have the tools. It's that we have a idea in our mind of what's going to be good enough. And we don't have time to make that. We don't have time to do that. And so I would just say, if you don't want to use Instagram, no worries. But if something in you, as we talk today, says, I really wish I could try this, I really wish I could do this, but then just fill in that blank, but my ego is getting in the way. And then work on the ego first, and then just get out there and practice. I love the concept of practicing in public. And I just have made it my whole mission to do that, to just get out there, test new things. It doesn't mean anything. Don't make it mean anything about you or your business or who you are as a person, or what's going to happen to your business. It's just one little piece of content. And practice really does make perfect. And your people will tell you what they love, but they cannot tell you if you don't put it out there.
Nicole, thank you. I hinted earlier that there's a resource, and that is your Grow on the Gram workshop. I'm going to give people the URL in just a minute. Before we let you go, can you say a few words about that resource?
Yes, this is my system. It's called the Grow on the Gram workshop, and I just break down for you exactly how my system works. So I do tell you about my social sales system inside that workshop. So if you're interested in getting hand-holding and help from me, then you'll learn more about it in the workshop. But even if you're not interested in that, just watching the workshop will help you get off the fence and really better understand the system. And I made this right after I'd had that phenomenal year and then doubled again. So you'll get to really see the logistics and the, behind the scenes of how it works.
Thank you so much.
Nicole, you are so awesome. Thank you so much for sharing your brilliance today. We just love you. Thank you for your time. I know it's late there and your generosity sharing. You are just amazing.
Thank you, Michelle. Thank you to both of you for what you're doing. I love gardening, but my bigger passion is women getting to be financially free and to wake up and just have that confidence and know that they know how to make their own money. And so I love what you do, and I'm thankful to get to partner with you.
Oh my gosh, what a guest, what a woman, what a brain.
I know. What a heart, what a mind. Yeah, and so generous. And I just love how practical it is. And even though she's talking in, millions and hundreds of thousands, I'm just hoping that everybody can map it back to their situation, because if I can double my followers today, or like, Fiona found, she doubled them and doubled them again, this is something everybody can do.
Yeah, and I'm so excited. We've been playing with Instagram a little differently since I've first heard Nicole speak. And now I feel like I have a whole new level of distinction based on what she said here in this episode to go ahead and change our strategy again. And as you said, Michelle, maybe you're starting with 500 followers or 1,000 or 2,000, and maybe your revenue is 100,000 or 200,000. It doesn't matter. Take this, run with it. One of the things that Nicole said that I want to kind of emphasize is this idea of, she has a lot of people say, I'm about to start, I'm gathering all my things. And being about to start is not the same as starting. So our encouragement to you is to start. Create that bad piece of content. Create that piece of content that you might be embarrassed about and want to take down a month from now. But just start creating. And what I love, Michelle, is she gave us a framework. Oh, you could try these 3 types of posts. Here's the outcome from those posts. Here's when in the week you want to make your carousels versus your memes, etc. And what I love about our mastermind and the whole Her Business community is that there's an opportunity for you to do that, and somebody will give you feedback. and support you and give you access to resources. So if you are one of our Her Business Network members or one of our masterminders listening, know that there is support for you and we are watching and encouraging you along. And if you're not yet part of our community, then we invite you in. Michelle, anything you want to sort of highlight from what Nicole said in addition to what I just said?
Oh man, I took so many notes. Like we could be here another hour, but I want to just pick up kind of where you left off there. I mean, about just kind of don't be about to start. Like she said, you're ready. You have a smartphone. You have a smartphone, turn the thing on. It takes 5 minutes. It may not be a great video. But what I really love, the sort of pointy end of that I think can make a big difference for us is you cannot figure this out in your head. Like you can't theorize this. You can't theorize yourself to 1,000 followers or 2,000 followers or 1 million followers. You have no idea what will go viral. You have no idea what will work. The only way to do this is to put it out there. And I just love that we're already ready. She did 1,000 posts in a year. She put out stuff and just sort of threw things at the wall. But as we were listening to her speaking, like there was so much nuance in what she was saying, but it was nuance she gained through experience, through putting posts out and seeing what people like, seeing what they shared, looking at the stats. And you can only get that data if you just practice in public. Like she said, it doesn't have to mean anything. It doesn't mean you're good, you're bad, you're right, you're wrong. You're practicing and it's just one little piece of content after another, and your people will tell you what they love, but they can't do that unless you give them the opportunity. I think that's so compelling.
And getting our ego out of the way, which is such a good point. And I love that she said that because I can totally relate to that.
Me too, yeah.
All righty. So we have got links to the resource that we mentioned with Nicole. I'll give you a link to that in just a moment. But we also mentioned some other programs, some podcast episodes. I think there's other things that you could listen to go deeper into today's topic, and we're going to put that in our show notes. And just before I give you those details, we love to share tips like those shared by Nicole with as many women business owners as possible. If you are listening, you kind of get a sense of what we're about, the kind of value that we want to bring. And so if you enjoyed this episode or any episode of this podcast, then do us a favor and leave us a rating or a review on Apple Podcasts. And I'll tell you why that's important, because when women are there on Apple Podcasts looking for the next podcast that might support them in their business, we are more likely to be found if we have more ratings and reviews. And that's just the truth of it. And so if you enjoyed this episode and would like to offer us some support, that's a way to do it. We have over 100 5-star reviews already. Now, just a couple of 3 episodes ago, we released an episode which was the new and updated How to Craft an Offer That Sells episode. Now, this was the reinvention of an episode we did way back in our very first year of podcasting, a long time ago. And it was a hit with so many women. So we had in this one post where we posted about the episode, numerous members, Chandra Moran of the Transit Lounge, Elizabeth Bond from Zen Bird Words, Tasha Jennings from Conceive Baby, Ros Lockley from Communiques, all saying, I love this updated episode. It was great to revisit the different elements. What we do in that episode is we break down the 7 elements of a compelling offer. So if you struggle a little bit with what we talked about today, which is I don't want to be salesy, then this episode teaches you how do you make your offer without being salesy, without sort of blurring into the background of your competition. Now, Elizabeth, who I just mentioned, she said, I've listened and downloaded the blueprint. Now I'm rubbing my hands together with glee because I'm diving in to review my existing offer and how to position my new offer. And Tasha said, brilliant episode. Tasha is a longtime listener on the show. And she said, I've heard this so many times. Tasha's part of Mastermind. So we talk about creating compelling offers all the time and offers that sell. But she said, but it was so good listening again today. Always more insights and gems. And Roz said, loving it. Thank you, Susie and Michelle. I'm loving the case study too. So we put it into really practical terms on how to create offers that convert. So thank you to all of our listeners who gave us a shout out for that episode. And as I said, if you enjoyed this episode, we'd love to hear from you too. Now, anything we mentioned today, including the resource from Nicole, can be found over at herbusiness.com/Instagram ideas. That's herbusiness.com/Instagram ideas. And the resource specifically, Michelle, just tell me the name. Oh, it's Grow on the Gram Workshop. It's the Grow on the Gram Workshop. And you want to get the link to that over on that show notes page, which I just mentioned. Michelle, what have we got coming up next?
Well, we're actually going to build on what we've discussed today. So our next episode's really about how to go from free to paid. That is how to seamlessly convert leads into buyers. And we've seen Nicole demonstrate that today with her Instagram strategy. So we're going to be looking at various ways for converting those free leads. Maybe they opted in for an ebook or a webinar, or maybe they're following you on a social media platform and you want to bring them into your world so you can then make the sale. All of that so we can turn those people into paying customers. It also is going to touch on some of the really core ideas that we've covered on this show before and bring them together in a way that we hope really makes it super clear for you, gives you an exact clarity about what to do on the thank you page after somebody opts in, some of our best ideas around how to create that whole customer narrative and journey so each step really does feel like the natural next step, and so much more, all coming up in the next episode.
Very, very good. And if you were listening to the top of the show, you would have heard that Michelle and I are running a 2-day workshop called the Advanced Offer Creation Workshop. It's coming up in Sydney on the 8th and 9th of April. And if you missed that, head on over to Advanced Offer Creation, because what we're going to be doing in person is working with you on your offer. So that's advancedoffercreation.com. Michelle, anything you want to say before we go?
Yes, today is the day to go from being about to start to actually starting. So love that.
Well said. Thank you. Thank you, Nicole. Thank you for listening. Thank you, Michelle. We'll see you next time right here on the Content Source podcast. Bye for now.